There's nothing particular complicated about stair units. They're pretty much built exactly the same way as you're building them for permanent install in a house, except instead of using 2x12 stringers, we're usually using 1x12 stringers to keep things light. You do need to have at least 3 stringers if it's a reasonable sized stair unit that goes up to about 3 feet. And if it's a 4-foot wide unit, you need to do 4 stringers. The step tread is 3/4 inch plywood. In this one, I made the riser be 3/8 inch plywood, or it might be 1/2 inch. And then tread, riser, tread, riser. If you are doing a fairly long one, something that goes up to 8 feet, you can add in lead-in bracing, which is the diagonal bracing that would go along that angle and would be notched into here. That will add some stability. You often don't need lead-in bracing in a permanent install, but because we're making these portable, they're going in, they're going out, they're sometimes being tied to something, sometimes they're freestanding. The lead-in bracing provides an additional level of stability. You don't need your risers to go all the way up. Sometimes you'll take another piece of 1x3 and notch it in just below here, and that will provide the extra support. You don't need to go up to 2x12 for your treads. It's absolutely not necessary. These are 4-foot wide, and they were made intentionally with this not consistent placement of stringers. The set designer at the time insisted we needed to build a bunch of 4-foot wide step units, and realistically, you're very rarely building things that are a full 4-foot wide, so I just thought somewhere down the road we're going to need to trim these down to 3 feet. So I placed this at the point where it would be for a 3-foot one. Rather than going every 16 inches, which is what your normal spacing would be, I placed this one at 3 feet so I could potentially trim this off and make myself a 3-foot stair unit, which would be ultimately more useful. There's very few of the 4-foot wide step units left. We had a huge stock of them. When that person left, we got rid of all of that stuff that no one else was ever going to use. So yeah, model your stair units off of standard construction stair units, outdoor deck stair units. It's all the same. It's nearly no different. Just use 1x12 instead of 2x12 for your stringers. 3/4 inch plywood for your treads, and then different ways of supporting the front. If it needs to be enclosed, this is just a thin piece of Luan. There's enough distance between the carriages that I don't need additional support on my 3/4 inch plywood. Pretty straightforward. This is one of those longer stair units that really could use lead-in bracing. I thought we had some that were built with lead-in bracing, but my memory is mixing that up with an 8-foot staircase we had at the previous place I worked that did have lead-in bracing. This type of staircase with 2x4 carriages and these with 2x4 treads is absolutely unnecessary for theater unless that is the look that is desired. If you're building something, a porch that has to look like it's a real outdoor unit, then you might want to build off of this. But this is not how you build your stock. This is really not useful stair stock. This offset tread is definitely an outdoor decking type of thing. This, absolutely no reason why this needed to be built out of 2x12. Absolutely no reason. It is 4 feet wide. It did need a 3rd carriage. 2 carriages is not enough to provide support over 4 feet for a piece of 3/4 inch plywood tread. This, without that extra support, is going to get a lot of spring and bounce as people walk up and down it.